Hey guys, it's Amber. Welcome to my channel and to a to-be read pile for the month of April. So these are the books that I plan on reading for April. Hopefully I can get through them all, but we'll see. So first of all, this is one I actually have already finished. I finished it within the first couple days of April, but I still wanted to share it. So Caraval, and this is a book about a girl and her sister. They live on a tiny island. They want to go to this other place called Caraval that is like where you can win this wish type of thing, and it's filled with magic. This island's filled with magic, and it's a whole like game competition, performance type of thing, and they end up finding out that it's more than that. So like I said, I finished it, and because of that, I did enjoy it. I decided, and there went some books. I decided to get the second book, Legendary, which is a continuation. Sorry, just one second. Which is a continuation of the story. And this is mainly about the sister. So this one was about Scarlet mainly. She was like the main character. And then this one takes the point of view of Scarlet's sister, Tella, or Donatella. She's the main character in this one. It's a continuation of the game, though. It's not like the same story from a different point of view or anything like that. But it's the other sister that's playing the game from what I've read as far as the synopsis goes. Okay, next up, this is another book my sweet husband bought for me for my birthday. He knows how much I love Prince Edward Island. I have been a fan since I was a kid, reading Anne of Green Gables. Some of my all-time favorite books is the Anne of Green Gables series. So when he saw this one, he got it for me because it's called Love Finds You in Prince Edward Island. So I have started it a little bit, but since I have these other books that are from the library, and there's no like time limit on this one, I've stopped and have started reading the other books. So it takes place in 1860. It's about a girl named Molly Orland who becomes a maid for the governor in Prince Edward Island, and the Prince of Wales comes to Prince Edward Island to tour the island. And it's about a bunch of stuff that follows from that. So that is Love Finds You in Prince Edward Island. Okay. Oh, and the first two books were by Stephanie Garber. Sorry, I didn't say that. And then this one is Susan Page Davis. Then next up, I am going to read A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. And this is like a fantasy version of Regency England. So the early 1800s. So think Pride and Prejudice time, Jane Austen time. So it's a fantasy version of that though. And it's about the main character, Neve. And I don't even know. I looked up how to say her last name. So it's an Irish name. Let me see if I can show you. So look. There's her name. So that's Neve. I know that's how you pronounce that, but I looked up her last name, but I can't remember now what it is. It's like it's like a bear. I don't know. It's like something or other. I'll have to look again because it'll drive me nuts seeing it and not knowing how to pronounce it. So anyway, it's about Neve, who is a tailor, and she has magic in her blood that allows her to stitch emotions into, like emotions and memories into her gowns and stuff that she creates. And she gets invited to, as she starts to become famous, and she ends up getting invited to another land called Avaland. I think it's called Avaland. It might be Avaland, to come and make gowns and tailor other things for the royal family in that land, because there's a like a ball happening or something, because the prince regent got engaged or something like that. So I just started this one. I think this is the one I'm going to read next, because I love Jane Austen and fantasy, and so this is like the combination of the two of those, so I'm super excited about that. So A Fragile Enchantment. And I'm going to look up how to say her last name again, but her first name is Neve. This is another one that I'm super excited to read. I'm trying to decide, I might end up starting this one first, because I know this one is in high demand at the library. So if I take too long in reading it, I probably can't renew it, because I know a lot of people are wanting to read this. So this is The Wishing Game, and this is by Meg Schaffer. I'm assuming it's Schaffer, maybe Schaefer. And it's about this super famous author who, here, let me just read this synopsis. So years ago, a seclusive mega-selling author quit writing under mysterious circumstances. Suddenly, he resurfaces with a brand new book and a one-of-a-kind competition, offering a prize that will make the winner's life. So it's about a girl named Lucy Hart. She is in her late 20s or 26, and she is a teacher's aide. She loves to read. She loved the books by this author. And then, so she gets invited to the competition, I think, from what I remember. And so she gets invited to the island to compete to win the one and only copy of the book by her favorite author. So it sounds like it's going to be a romp for sure. So I might have to do this one actually next rather than A Fragile Enchantment. So that is The Wishing Game. Next up is Happiness for Beginners. This is by Catherine Center. I have read her book, The Bodyguard, and absolutely loved it. It was such a fun book. So this is like a contemporary romance type of book, or the other one was anyway. This one is about a lady named Helen Carpenter, and she's in her 30s, pretty recently divorced, and she's always played it safe with her life. Well, she decides to do something adventurous and goes to, actually, I can't even read what it says. I have to put on my glasses. I'm old. I have to wear reading glasses now. So she wanted to do something wild and adventurous and completely out of character. So she signed up for a wilderness survival course in Wyoming. So hijinks and adventure stem from there. So this is actually, I decided to pick this one up because it is actually a book or a movie now, I think on Netflix. I put it on my to be watched, I think it was Netflix, created a movie from it. And because I read The Bodyguard and I heard about the movie, I was like, I'm going to read this one next before I watch the movie, because I'm one of those people that I'd rather read the book before I watch the movie version of it. I know some people do the opposite, but me personally, I want the source material first, because usually most of the time I love the books more than I love the movie. So we'll see how that adds up. So I'm going to read that one and then I'll watch the movie. And then last but not least is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is the second book in the Letters of Enchantment series, or it's only a duology. The first book is Divine Rivals. And I did really enjoy Divine Rivals. It was more like a historical fiction rather than like a complete fantasy to me. There was a little bit of like fantasy magical elements sprinkled into it, but it was kind of more historical in nature as far as fiction goes, except it had like magic type writers. So it reminded me a bit of a more whimsical version of You've Got Mail or Shop Around the Corner. So it was cute. It was a fun, sweet read, and I put this on my list to get, and it just came in. So I look forward to reading the sequel and see how it turns out. So I've heard that this one has a lot more magic and fantasy elements to it compared to the first one. So we'll see how that is. So that's it. There could end up being more books that end up coming my way, depending on how these go, what else comes into the library. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 right now is on my list. We'll see how that goes, and you know, what ends up happening, if I end up having time for all of them, if they catch my fancy as I'm reading, if it's something that's not something that I super enjoy, it kind of takes me longer to read to compare to, you know, if it's something that I'm engrossed in, then I read it in a couple of days. So that's it, you guys. Tell me in the comments what you plan on reading this month, if you're reading anything. I appreciate all of you, and there will be more Scentsy content to come, so stay tuned for all those goodies as well. And have a wonderful day. Until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.